first moment you disobey something or someone is when you begin to question. Because obedience doesn't call for
Because
I agree.
One thing I hate is fucking sight check.
Nigga, right to say what it is that you want to say. Then you're doing no different from the racists who say because I'm white or because I'm not black.
Was the world not once flat?
Well, flat and crowded is right there.
Was scholars not the ones who said that the world was
flat? You're not allowed to have just an opinion. You're just not allowed. You're like, well, I'm allowed to do whatever I want to. So that person that calls you a fucking nigga is allowed to their opinion. That person, and think about slut shaming, because slut shaming involves in blaming the victim of a rape. Who are the ones that prosecute rapists? The judges and the lawyers. Those two parties right there are some of the most intelligent, quote unquote, and educated, quote unquote.
Yeah, please say quote unquote, because the motherfucker say educated at all.
Educated.
They knowledge well. No, they knowledgeable. I will give you that, and they understand how.
But this is I'm trying to break down educated though. Educated, they're educated, but I'm trying to tell people that education is only one component of a person, one component of a society. If my intelligence is used to feed my belief as a person, or my opinion as a person about how women are supposed to act, then I can use all that intelligence, I can use all that knowledge to manipulate other people's views on how things are supposed to act. And you're not going to question me because I'm educated, because I'm knowledgeable.
And it's funny that you say that. Only reason I ever wanted the PhD is because I wanted to be able to say some heathen shit, say anything I want, and people follow it. Because when a PhD comes along with the connotation and the presumption that you know what you're talking about. So I can have a PhD and say, oh, no, it is correct for brothers and sisters to have sex. As wild and heinous as it may be, and against the grain as it may go, people take to it, not immediately, but some way. Like, for instance, I tell people say, oh, what is political science? It is a science. Because you experiment with people, you understand people, and you do it all from a philosophical aspect and how it's applicable to life.
But that's funny that you say philosophy, but people don't even teach philosophy.
Because philosophy is outlawed. Because to have a person, like you said, Socrates got killed. He got killed because philosophy teaches people to think on their own.
Not even to think on your own, to think. And here's another problem I have. People think because they have a degree, like you were saying earlier, that they can think. But how come most of these professions are coming back and saying people can't write? If you are unable to write and to communicate effectively to people within your discipline, how the hell do you expect to be able to write and communicate to people outside of your discipline? And to be able to write means to be able to communicate. To be able to communicate means to be able to think. Because people think writing and communicating. No. Communication is at the top. Writing and speaking is beneath communication.
Because it's encompassed. Communication is the umbrella.
Exactly. Communication is the, and above communication, before you communicate, before you communicate actively, I would say, and you're knowledgeable of it, is you have to think about it. Because your body language will give out subtle clues. But when you begin to write and think, or you begin to write and speak, you're actually thinking. So my thing is that philosophy teaches you how to think, how to counter arguments, and how to deal with dissenting arguments. And that dissenting arguments can't be thrown aside because you have more people who agree with you that a girl who gets drunk at a party has allowed herself to be raped. Which slut shaming, that's how slut shaming works. It's like, oh, she got drunk at the party, she knew what she was doing. She wore that skirt, she knew what she was doing. That's intelligent people. That's educated people telling you that.
Because this is the thing where people fail to realize as well, though.
And this is college.
This is college, but it's also, when you're dealing with intelligence, people have to realize that when you're dealing with intelligence, you remove emotion.
You do.
That's why when you have law, they don't relegate an emotion. or not supposed to relegate an emotion, because the truth is, and the truth of the matter is, that people will always be biased and relegating the emotion, because emotion is a
Human
basic human trait.
It's a human thing.
But with law, you're not supposed to relegate in that, because why? The intelligence in the intelligent community does not respond to emotion, which is why you have generals and people in those type of positions. You are trained and taught to not feel. Why? Because you cannot make a sound decision while feeling, because you are.
But that's how you're supposed to make the decision.
It is how you're supposed to make the decision, but at the same time, people who are in the intelligent in academia, which I fucking hate, because academia,
It's political. It's politics.
it's political, but at the same time, they portray themselves as somebody who pushes the envelope. They portray themselves as somebody
I totally agree.
who revolutionizes. They portray themselves as somebody who completely shatters what it means to be stereotypical.
Just think about, we can take the whole Rachel thing.
Dozel.
Let's take the whole whole Rachel thing.
The white jump
Who said she was black. And this is the important thing. She said black and not African American. African American would denote a heritage, therefore born. Black means culture. But you had a bunch of people walking around there saying that she can't be black.
Hold on. Can you repeat that about African American being heritage and black?
Yeah.
being
African American, you can be born. I throw away the topic African American. I say African diaspora.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't take away the fact I was born of African descent. Rachel never says she's born of African descent. Therefore, she says never African American. That's heritage.
Mm-hmm.
That's heritage. Your heritage is something. It's like an inheritance, literally. It's a cultural inheritance. You're born with that. But when you say black, that's culture. But then you have a whole bunch of people who say, well, she can't say she's black because of a whole body of politics that comes along with being black and along with oppression. However, you cannot say that race is a social construct. The only other thing is she's not black because she wasn't born black. Race is a social construct. Therefore, anyone within inside of a social setting or society can decide whether they want to be black or not.
Nigga. Repeat that and slow down.
Okay. Anybody within a society,
okay,
or a social setting, because race is a social construct, can decide whether or not they are black. But on the same token, that means that anyone inside of society can decide whether they're white or Asian.
The Black Anglo!
Or Hispanic. The Black Anglo.
The Black Anglo.
Or Anglo-Saxon.
I'm not black.
Because
I'm white. I have assimilated to their culture. I have been taught by them. I have been raised by them. I have done everything it is that they have asked me to do to matriculate, get their degrees, everything else. Bitch, I'm not black. I just got brown skin.
Basically, I'm permanently tan. And that's the thing about the people like, no. That's the whole thing. Like, you were so upset that you didn't want to push the envelope. Because if she's saying she's black, then that means you have to question whiteness. What is blackness without whiteness? Because they define blackness by defining whiteness. Things are not defined on their own. They're defined just opposed to things. You can't say what is white if you have nothing that's the opposite of black. Or the opposite of white. And it goes back to this whole privilege and everything else, but people don't understand.
So can I ask you this?
Go ahead.
So what you're saying to me right now is, because I'm trying to fake grasp my mind around this. For a lion to be a lion, it has to be a tiger or a leopard.
Yeah.
Or a panther.
Yeah. Or it's not a lion.
So
it's just it calls itself a lion, but you don't know how to define what a lion is.
If a lion is a lion without all the other things, then what is a lion?
You can call this thing a lion. Basically, it's like God. If you have nothing to define it, just anything to put against it to define it, it exists in its own. You can't give it a definition. You can't give it a definition. The lion is a lion, but you can say what a lion does, but you can't say what the lion is because you have nothing against that lion to say, well, this is a lion and this is a tiger. Because the lion exists on its own. It's a lion is a lion. You can't say anything else because there's nothing to compare it to. Because that's how humans understand. Basically, what I'm talking about is that if you have a real Michael Kors bag and a fake Michael Kors bag,
bring it to us.
A fake Michael Kors bag, let's say the fake Michael Kors bag misspell Michael, and it flips the E and the A.
Okay.
If the only thing you ever saw was the fake Michael Kors bag with the E and the A switch around, then the other Michael, then that's Michael Kors. They just spell Michael differently. But it's only because of the existence of the Michael Kors bag, the authentic one with the A before the E, do you know that there's the fake Michael Kors bag.
Oh, so I get what you're saying now.
Yes.
What you're saying is the existence of a standard is what gives us the permission to give it a definition.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, let me see if I get this. Stamp clothes. If I have Michael Jordan, fake Jordans, and for experimental purposes, real Jordans didn't exist. My fake Jordans would be real Jordans.
Yeah.
Only because there aren't anything to say
to contradict it. Yeah, there's nothing to contradict it. So it's real.
How about that?
It's theoretically real. And someone's like, well, what, how does this make sense? Well, think about racism. Think about anything about bigotry. There's been plenty of times where these things have been burned because they have counter ideas to what a system is putting out. People talk about the Illuminati, and I just shake my head and I'm like, you don't understand the Illuminati is a secret society formed against the Catholic Church because the Catholic Church was going around burning, killing, and where do you think I get inquisitor from? Anything that disagreed with it. That is not a function of, that's a function of power. And that's why of totalitarian power, of power that is greedy and wants everything to agree with it. The moment some people ask me all the time because I work at a certain institution. People ask me, well, when does oppression begin? The moment someone is not allowed to dissent. The moment a person is not allowed to speak their own mind, and you don't have to take my word for it. Go read Kant. People who are intelligent, so smart. Go read Kant. Go read Go read John Locke. Go read David Hume. Go read Nietzsche, especially all you people that talk about nihilism. Go read Nietzsche, the real Nietzsche, not the Will and Power Nietzsche, the actual Nietzsche. Go and read your damn holy books and stop pretending you read your holy books. Go read your holy books. Stop pretending.
Because a lot of shit. No, you know what's so funny? So I'm running in the gym today. I'm on the gym. I'm going. You know what I'm saying? So I'm listening to Jesus. I Am a God comes on, right? So I'm like, man, how the fuck do people even come to the conclusion that song is blaspheme or he is blaspheme, and they read the Holy Scripture, any Holy Scripture, whether it be the Torah, the Quran, or the Bible, when it clearly says that we are made in the image of God. Huh?
The Quran doesn't say that. The Torah, I believe the Torah and the Bible does. The Quran doesn't. And that's why you're not supposed to have any physical depiction of God because you. And this
you want to know why Islam. You want to know why you don't have any physical depiction of God? Because, like you said, I understand what you was about to go into. His omnipotence and everything being unexplainable. But, like I said, well, not like I said, but
and a variation of what you're saying, yeah.
Humanity, mankind itself. You could
Western. I'll have to say Western mankind.
If you could get mankind.
Okay.
Mankind, because it's all encompassing is everything.
That's what you're saying. Go ahead.
If you could get everybody in one portrait, everything in one portrait, every philosophy, every evil, every good, everything in one portrait, that's gone. But you can't. That's why you cannot draw an image, because you can never, ever, 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 ever fathom that. You can never, ever get that in a portrait. Mm-hmm. It's not that he doesn't say and explain that, but what it is it's impossible.
It's incomprehensible.
It's exactly.
Impossible. It's incomprehensible.
Incomprehensible are two of the same. And like I said, how do you call saying I am a God blasphemous when, like I said, he's made in the image and the likeness of such? Not I am the God. I am a God.
But that's the thing you pointed out. You understand the difference between a definite, which is
which goes back into how people aren't really that educated as they say they are, because that goes into you into a whole different culture, which doesn't align with us.
They actually traveled.
It was a journey.
It's a journey.